Here's what went down Monday, August 18th, 2025, on Beyond the Gates. When Dr. Madison came down with feelings, Vanessa released her inner Joey, and Ted got advice from a peachy source. On Beyond the Gates, Leslie had trouble believing that original articulette Barbara was her birth mother, and that she had classic soul magic running through her veins. Peaches stood by her announcement and let Leslie know she was entitled to a lot of zeros, yet Leslie was convinced that Nicole had paid Peaches to do a number on her. Leslie made such a stink about Nicole that Peaches asked for information about the woman. After Leslie described how furious Nicole had been that Leslie had dared to show up at the Articulettes concert, Peaches swore she didn't know Nicole from the Man on the Moon. Peaches promised that Leslie was about to become very rich. Leslie remembered decades of eating dollar store noodles and still doubted talk of a miraculous inheritance, so Peaches provided birth certificates and other substantiating documents she had amassed. When Leslie persisted that papers could be faked, which she had done herself, Peaches stressed that she was too sick to play those kinds of games. Leslie listened as Peaches explained how considerable funds had been set aside to benefit Barbara's family, and now that Leslie was the only member left, that money was hers. With Leslie still dubious, Peaches produced a hairbrush of Barbara's, the follicles from which could be used to conduct a DNA test. Even though Peaches had already had the test run and proved that Leslie was Barbara's daughter. "You're about to go from a have-not to having it all, and then some," Peaches declared. Later, Leslie studied her Articulettes program as Eva raced in, having received an urgent text from her mother. When Eva heard Leslie's claim that Barbara had given birth to her, Eva was certain that Leslie was messing with her as payback for taking her inheritance notification to Tomas to be verified. Leslie shocked Eva by having her meet Peaches, explaining that their visitor had raised her. Peaches hugged Eva, and it registered with her that she was, in effect, Eva's grandmother. Peaches told Eva that she had never been informed about her because of her volatile, estranged relationship with Leslie. Eva studied Peaches as she recounted the story about bringing up her best friend's baby, and that friend, Barbara, had died around the time Leslie was learning to walk. While Eva was coming to the conclusion that the contested bequeathment letter had been for real, Leslie purred that they were about to level all the way up. Leslie thanked Peaches not just for the life-changing news, but for being a mother to her, even when I was out there acting a fool. After Peaches excused herself, Eva marveled that she had a grandmother. Leslie and Eva squealed together about their imminent wealth, even after Leslie jokingly faked Eva out with, "What's all this we business?" The mother and daughter then contemplated how quickly things could change. Leslie was bitter that Peaches had only emerged out of a desire to tie up loose ends before she died. That said, if there really was an inheritance, Leslie planned to get Peaches the best possible health care. Eva thought that amazing. Since Leslie and Peaches had been disconnected for so long, Leslie maintained that, in the end, your mother was your mother, and that's what love was. Nicole and Vanessa continued partying, emptying multiple bottles. But Nicole expressed her worry that Vanessa had deemed her marriage to Doug not worth sticking with. When Vanessa didn't want to talk about Doug, Nicole changed the subject to Joey and warned her that Mr. Armstrong was not to be toyed with. Vanessa smirked that Nicole was obsessed with the casino owner since Nicole mentioned him to Vanessa at their every meeting. However, Nicole didn't believe it when Vanessa crowed, "The only thing between me and that man is escrow." Vanessa played dumb when Nicole insisted that Joey was dangerous, instead trying and failing to fish for intel about him from her friend. Nicole took a call from a colleague who needed to meet her at Uptown. Vanessa remarked that Doug was at the establishment as well, which she knew from putting a Finder app on his phone after he went rogue. Nicole offered for her and Vanessa to ride over together so they could further discuss Joey. At Uptown, Ted found a resentful Doug who came down on Ted for questioning his surgical abilities. Ted admitted he could have tried a less combative approach with him, while Doug was certain his dressing down and subsequent resignation were the topic of hospital gossip. Doug softened when Ted mentioned that Nicole was divorcing him and was sincere in his condolences. Ted had been thinking about what the Duprees had told him about the chance of saving his marriage if he truly worked on it, but the plastic surgeon didn't know how to even start getting Nicole to look at him the way she used to. Doug, becoming cold, advised Ted to find out what was blocking his blessing and eliminate it, by any means necessary. Just then, Jacob joined the men, and Doug excused himself to speak with the detective. Jacob was taken aback when Doug asked if he knew Marcel. Jacob affirmed that the man was his uncooperative partner on the force. As Jacob decried Marcel's tendency to follow his own rules, Doug determined that Jacob was the right person to help his friend with his problematic employer, Joey Armstrong. "The man moves like he's bulletproof," Jacob harumphed. When Doug wanted to demonstrate otherwise, Jacob would only pursue the matter legally. Doug gave that assurance and reported that his friend had dirt on Armstrong. Jacob wanted Doug's friend to help him build a case, but Doug said that would take too long, and revealed that his friend had been ordered by Joey to murder someone. Doug understood that whatever else he said would be used in an investigation, which was what he wanted. But just then, Vanessa strolled in and found Doug in conference with Jacob. Vanessa suggested that Doug and Jacob not attempt to snow her about what they'd been talking about and demanded answers. Jacob made a diplomatic exit and approached Ted about whether there had been any further scenes with Leslie. Ted wondered how much time she could get for stealing Eva's concert ticket. Afterwards, Peaches approached Ted at the bar and introduced herself, ordering a fancy drink and saying a lady had to treat herself to the finer things from time to time. Seeing Ted staring longingly across the night spot at Nicole, Peaches sassed that Ted looked like a puppy afraid to go home when he could have all this full-body spicy vintage. Ted described his situation as complicated. Peaches understood and laid out how she hadn't spoken to her daughter for years after the girl had crossed an unforgivable line. Pride had kept Peaches from reaching out, so she counseled Ted to reach out to his wife instead of drowning his sorrows. "Don't wait for fate to force your hand," Peaches added. Like it did mine. Nicole, who had accompanied Vanessa to Uptown, locked eyes with Ted, who was sitting at the bar. The soon-to-be ex-Mrs. Richardson averted her gaze and sat with Madison, who needed a palate cleanser after a rough day at Garland. Plus, the neurologist wanted Nicole's counsel because she was becoming emotionally involved in a case. Madison fretted that she might botch a surgery because of her growing lack of professional stoicism. When Nicole asked what might have prompted Madison's shift into sentimentality, Madison immediately realized the change was because of Chelsea. Madison admitted that she loved Chelsea, but also deemed it a problem. Nicole had seen Madison's proficiency and was confident she would again be able to compartmentalize her emotions just enough to offer the care she always had. Though the psychiatrist noted that an emotional tie could benefit both patient and doctor. Madison found that prospect terrifying, but she was willing to attempt openness. Once Madison departed, Ted approached. Nicole had noticed Ted's drinking companion and was glad to see he was moving on. After Nicole huffed that she still had a sense of humor, if not a marriage, Ted apologized for how badly he had taken the news of the divorce papers. Ted said he had been thrown. Nicole held she had been by the revelation of his mistress and love child. Nicole didn't give Ted a chance to say anything else and left him standing alone. Vanessa grimly hoped that Doug hadn't been talking to Jacob about Joey. Doug replied that Vanessa could stop him. She figured that would be by ending things with Joey and pretending they had a happy marriage, while instantly curing Doug's gambling problem. Vanessa railed at the audacity of Doug making demands when he had created their mess and proclaimed that she had the power with Doug now unemployed. "You can kiss this lifestyle you've become accustomed to goodbye," Vanessa stated, advocating that he not antagonize her any further. Shanice suggested that Ashley go home and rest, rather than pace the nurse's station at Garland, while awaiting post-op news about Derek. Ashley stubbornly refused, but asked Shanice to be Derek's physical therapist, since the firefighter faced a lengthy recovery period. Shanice acknowledged that she did have experience with paralytic patients. Ashley trusted Shanice despite their recent bickering. When Ashley stopped short of asking if Derek might make a full recovery, Shanice vowed to push Derek past his limits to get our boy back on his feet. Once Derek was out of surgery, Ashley was initially concerned that Derek would be able to intuit his possible paralysis from her expression, but she fell back on her nurse's training instead. Though Ashley invited Shanice to see Derek with her, Shanice felt the moment belonged to the exes. Derek saw Ashley entering his room and said that he sensed his operation had been successful. In fact, the feeling was already coming back into his legs, even though he couldn't yet move them. Ashley remained silent to the point Derek asked into it. Derek closed his eyes and dared Ashley to touch his leg, after which he would tell her where he felt it. Ashley had already moved her hand from Derek's thigh, while Derek thought she hadn't touched him yet. Derek was staggered when he watched Ashley grasp his other leg, only to not be able to feel it. He had been positive he'd felt tingling in his lower limbs. Ashley described it as phantom limb sensation. Ashley couldn't give Derek the lecture he'd been expecting about his recklessness landing him in the hospital, but she did want to know why he had taken the perilous curve at a breakneck speed when the other cyclists were exercising caution. Shanice came in before Derek could answer and informed him she'd been assigned as his physical therapist. Baldwin considered himself lucky, though Shanice apprised him that she would be putting him through his paces. When Derek pondered how he'd become Shanice's patient, Shanice eyed Ashley and said there had been a special request. Later, Jacob found a flattened Ashley, who got him up to speed on what his best friend had suffered. Ashley took Jacob to see Derek, but first laid out how Derek was playing it cool and not fully comprehending the hard road he had ahead of him. After some good-natured banter, Derek caught Jacob's distressed tone and explained how he knew he had poorly navigated the course's hook and damaged his back, thereby damaging his legs. Jacob stayed neutral when Derek tasked the detective with finding his bike so he could fix it and get back on the road. Sometime later, Madison returned to the room, and Derek wanted good news. Madison carefully said that, while Derek's surgery had been successful, he was facing weeks of physical therapy and hospital care, and that when Derek finally was released, he would be going home in a wheelchair. Derek was devastated by the prospect of never walking again, no matter how hard he worked to. "Hey, babes! Welcome back to Gossip Delight. It's your girl Daisy, and trust me, today's tea is scorching, steamy, and absolutely unmissable. Buckle up, because we're diving straight into the drama." Beyond the Gates spoilers for Tuesday, August 19th, indicate that Martin Richardson and Bradley Smith will deal with a home invasion, while Anita Dupree is given a bombshell that shocks her. Anita will relive some painful memories during the August 19th show, and added teasers state that she's about to learn something major that will shake her to her core. Of course, the painful memories she reflects on may be about Barbara Mitchell, the fourth articulette, who took her own life after the group broke up. In addition, Anita's shocking news is probably the fact that Leslie Thomas is her old music mate's daughter. To make things right, Anita started up a trust for Barbara's family. Little did she know her money would trickle into the pockets of her daughter, Nicole Richardson's biggest nemesis. BTG fans should brace for a major showdown between Leslie and Anita soon, as the Dupree matriarch realizes she just made the family's #1 enemy rich. Across town, Naomi Hawthorne will pass on some heart-wrenching news. Will this be about Derek Baldwin's medical emergency? Jacob Hawthorne already knows about this, so perhaps she tells someone else. Then again, this might be about June. Maybe Naomi tells June that Tyrell Richardson and Samantha Richardson don't want to see her again? That would devastate her. Speaking of, Tyrell and Samantha's dads will have a scary situation during the August 19th episode. BTG spoilers hint that Martin and Smitty deal with an intruder, seemingly in their house. The promo video for the week of August 18 to 22 shows Smitty telling Martin that he thinks they have a situation. Beyond the Gates, spoilers imply that there's a good chance June gets the terrible news about the kids and then retaliates. So will this get ugly? In the Monday, August 18th episode, Doug continued to put his potentially disastrous plan into motion. On Beyond the Gates, Doug is unemployed, which was his choice. Now he has this plan to use Randy to bring down Joey Armstrong. Yes, Doug thinks he can take down the powerful casino owner. In the Monday, August 18th episode, he continued his plans to poke the beast. Doug is letting his jealousy flag fly. He has talked Randy into potentially going to the cops and ratting on Joey Armstrong. After all, the man ordered him to murder the bigoted busboy, and who knows what else Joey has strongly suggested he do over the years. But Doug thinks he can eliminate his competition, and maybe he feels he can save Vanessa from this deal with the devil she has made, which now has Armstrong laundering his money through her real estate business. On Monday, he plowed ahead with his plan. He arranged to meet with Jacob at Uptown and started laying things out for Jacob. As soon as Doug mentioned Joey, he piqued Jacob's interest. He wanted Jacob to tell him how to proceed with his friend, who has major intel on Armstrong's deadlier orders. According to Doug, this can't be a slow-burning situation. This needed to happen now. Before they could get anywhere, Vanessa and Nicole showed up, and Doug's wife immediately stopped the conversation. Vanessa wasn't happy to see Doug with Jacob. Her spidey senses started tingling, and she instantly knew this all had to do with Joey. Vanessa warned her husband that proceeding down this road wouldn't end well, considering Doug is unemployed, and she had to compromise her real estate agency to save his behind. Doug seems determined to pursue this path, which is going to test Vanessa's loyalty. She's really trying to keep things to a simmer between Joey and Doug, but how long is that going to last? When Vanessa talked to Doug in Monday's episode, she seemed about done with him, or close to it. At one point, she was so loyal to her hubby that even though there was not much romance going on between them, she didn't even think about divorcing him. But she's so attracted to Joey and Joey's dangerous life that she might be rethinking the D word. If Doug insists on going after Joey, he could lose his marriage completely. And since this is Joey we're talking about, Doug could very well lose his life. So after Monday's episode, what will he do? Next on BTG, Anita and Leslie butt heads. Eva shares a stunning revelation with Thomas. Andre rushes to the hospital and is surprised by Ashley's reaction. The Beyond the Gates, spoilers for Wednesday, August 20th, 2025, tease Anita and Leslie's showdown, which could end with a slap. Also, Eva will share a stunning revelation with Tomas. Andre rushes to the hospital after learning about Derek, but it's Ashley's reaction to seeing him that has him reeling. Things will take a tense turn in Fairmont Crest. This is the moment that fans have been waiting for. Anita and Leslie will go head-to-head, leading to the biggest clash ever. This fight could end with a slap heard around the neighborhood. Meanwhile, Eva will have a shocking revelation to share with Tomas, which could change the dynamics of their relationship. This has us wondering where their relationship is going. Is Tomas genuinely attracted to Eva, or is he using her for his career advancement? This revelation could clarify Tomas's true feelings for Eva, or reveal his hidden agenda. Andre rushes to the hospital upon learning about Derek's emergency. This puts him in the path of Ashley, which leads to an awkward encounter. Andre is caught off guard by Ashley's reaction upon seeing him. It sounds like this love triangle isn't going to end anytime soon, unless there's something that Ashley says or does that surprises Andre. Beyond the Gates, spoilers for Tuesday, August 19th, suggest some interesting moments in Fairmont Crest. Martin Richardson and Bradley "Smitty" Smith have an intruder, while Naomi Hamilton has some heartbreaking news. Plus, Anita Dupree relives painful memories. Read on to learn more about what's coming up on the CBS soap. Beyond the Gates spoilers for Tuesday, August 19th. Imply that Martin and Smitty will deal with an intruder. During the weekly promo, a clip is shown of a concerned Smitty telling Martin that he thinks they have a situation. Who's trying to break into their home? And could it be June? June does have some mental health and past substance abuse problems, even though fans know she wouldn't hurt anyone. But will she try and break into Martin and Smitty's home for some unknown reason? Across town, Naomi will give someone some heartbreaking news. Will Naomi possibly find out about Derek Baldwin's situation and relay it to Jacob Hawthorne? After all, Derek is Jacob's best friend. Derek got into a biking accident and may never walk again, so when Jacob learns this, he'll be devastated. The good news is, though, at least Derek has a friend like Jacob to lean on during this troubling time. Beyond the Gates spoilers for Tuesday hint that Anita will have no choice but to relive some painful memories as she's on the cusp of learning something that will impact her future. This sounds like it has to do with Leslie Thomas being the unknown daughter of the fourth articulate, Barbara Mitchell. Fans were shocked to learn the connection and that Leslie was unknowingly adopted. In fact, she didn't know about it herself. It looks like Anita and Leslie are set to clash over all this, so it'll be interesting to see this new angle emerge between these two strong-willed characters. Are you pumped about Tuesday's episode? Comment below. Watch your favorite CBS soap daily and check out CTS often for the best Beyond the Gates spoilers, news, and updates. Beyond the Gate spoilers for August 18, 2025. See Eva Thomas losing it. She is just about fed up with her devious Mama Dana, Leslie Thomas. Haley Lawson is not nearly done scheming, and more comes out on that soon. Let's dive into it on Early Edition. We talk about what's coming the rest of this week, and then what is coming the week after that. With that in mind, on Wednesday, August 13th, we've got Leslie's latest antics frustrating Eva. Remember, she wanted Leslie to call that law firm about the inheritance. But what happens when she does? Eva is all excited because if her mom's got money from someplace else, she may stop harassing her about continuing to borrow money from Dr. Ted Richardson, which of course Eva feels bad about. Leslie doesn't even feel bad knowing that Eva is taking this money as a loan. You know, Leslie doesn't seem like the kind of lady who's going to pay her bills. So, she's definitely not worried about Eva paying back Ted. She thinks every penny of that is owed to them. I mean, really, she should go back and just go to court and ask for 18 years of back child support. She'd probably get a pile if she went about this the right way. So, I wonder if Leslie is going to hang up on the law firm before she gets the info and annoy Eva Thomas, or even lie to her. Leslie making that call might be why Peaches shows up at her door this week. Peaches, of course, is a new character. She has scenes with Ted also this week at Uptown. Samantha and Tyrell Richardson are completely blindsided. Martin Richardson and Bradley/Smitty Smith sit down with them at the house. Naomi Hamilton Hawthorne and Jacob Hawthorne are there this week, and they tell Smitty and Martin they found Tyrell and Samantha's bio-mom. Kat and Tom Hernandez dance salsa, and they are really struggling with the lack of rhythm. Kat thinks the bad dancing is a mirror of the bad nookie they had. They are definitely not on the same sheet of music or the same bedsheet either. Not that they actually did it on a bedsheet. They did it on a sofa. Just by the way, that was a white sofa, and she was losing her V-card. I don't know if they thought that through in terms of the set. You shouldn't be losing it on a sofa, and definitely not a white sofa. Eva talks to Tomas about the awkwardness between him and Kat when they're dancing. He tells Eva it's crazy how she gets him. It's clear Tomas is a better match for Eva than Kat. But you know, misters before sisters with those two. Chelsea Hamilton tries to set boundaries with Allison and put an end to her antics once and for all. I have to wonder if Chelsea's ex is back doing stuff to get her attention. It certainly sounds like she's not going to go away quietly or soon on Beyond the Gates. On Thursday, August 14th, Dr. Nicole Dupree Richardson stuns Ted Richardson when she slaps him with divorce papers. This week, he heads over to Fairmont Crest, divorce papers in hand. He sits down at Anita Dupree and Vernon Dupree's table and tells them what she did, that she served him with divorce papers. Anita says to Ted, "Look, if you still love Nicole, you need to fight for her." That's good advice for Ted. But Nicole may not appreciate Anita saying that because I think she wants to draw a line in the sand and put Ted Richardson in her rear view. A blast from Leslie's past shows up at her door. It's Peaches, a new character who seems older than Leslie. Mom? Aunt? Older sister? We'll see. Leslie's not happy to see her. I suspect, based on the timing, that the phone call to the law firm is what gave Peaches the info to track Leslie down. Also on Thursday, Naomi Hamilton Hawthorne gets June ready to meet her kids after not seeing them since they were little. The kids in the picture look like they are 23, and they're teenagers. It's been, 14, 15 years maybe, since she's seen her children. This is going to be really stressful. I struggle with Naomi bringing them back into her life, because June is just not a mentally well woman. We'll see. Hopefully, Samantha and Tyrell are the ones wanting to meet her, not just being pushed to meet her. Anita and Vernon comfort one of their daughters. We'll see if it's Nicole or Danny Dupree. Nicole just hit Ted with divorce papers. Danny just got hit with Andre saying, I can't be your bed buddy anymore." Of course, Anita and Vernon might be happy to hear that Danny is not seeing Andre anymore. I'm sure Nicole is going to be happy about that as well. On Friday, August 15th, Ashley Morgan faces a major medical crisis. I wonder if this is Allison, and if she was harmed by her allegedly abusive husband, or if Allison did something to herself for attention from Chelsea Hamilton. This poor girl is obviously obsessed, maybe a little deranged, and obviously in a bad marriage. Andre talks to Ted about relationship issues, so hopefully Andre will hear Ted out too. I'm sure Ted is going to tell him about Nicole filing divorce papers. Andre is going to open up about breaking up with Danny, and then Ashley calling it off with him. I wonder if Andre is going to realize there's some kind of disconnect about what happened with Ashley, because he isn't entirely clear on what happened. She seemed in, and then all of a sudden, out. Nicole and Danny are there for each other, and Vanessa McBride is there to help them too. Nicole is of course sad about the official end of her marriage, but she may be happy that Andre's not seeing her sister Danny anymore. Vanessa is going to be supportive, but not talking about her own messy personal life, I'm sure. The Articulates put the past to rest, and now people want to know what is next for Anita Dupree and the girls. I wonder if Anita is going to tell them that Devin Winters wants them to do some recording for his label. The week of August 18th through the 22nd, we are going to have more fallout from the reveal of June as Samantha and Tyrell's mom. I wonder if this may reconcile Martin Richardson and Smitty faster than anything else would, because they need to be together to be there for their daughter and son. I also wonder if June can be trusted. She's not stable. Naomi is vouching for her, but she can't control her. It's a good sign that June is going home with her sister Regina. She seems to be coming out of whatever is wrong with her. Hopefully, the surgery has helped. Andre may circle back around to Ashley and find out that she saw him with Danny. If Andre can't have Ashley, I wonder if he may circle back to Danny. But of course, she just kind of admitted to herself that she still loves Bill Hamilton, and admitted it to Nicole as well, so she may say no. I wonder if Ted is going to accept and sign the divorce papers Nicole sent, or if he's going to take Anita's advice and fight. Dr. Doug McBride and Randy Parker keep plotting against Joey Armstrong, but it feels like these two just have a death wish. I think Vanessa is the only thing keeping Joey from giving them both a dirt nap at this point. More on Randy and Haley coming soon. We'll find out what their tie is. Haley and Randy could be secretly family. You know, a brother-sister thing. I don't know. I keep feeling like Bill is a long-term con target of Haley's for some revenge purpose. We'll find out. Kat is going to have to decide if she and Tomas are going to keep trying. He's smitten, but Kat is feeling the ick about him. Tomas is going to expect them to get intimate again. She's going to have to make a decision really soon. This week on BTG, Anita is done with Leslie. Martin&Smitty deal with a crisis, and Chelsea's in trouble. Last week on Beyond the Gates, Nicole filed for divorce. June connected with Tyrell and Samantha for the first time in years, and Leslie discovered the original Articulate, Barbara Mitchell, was her mother. This week, look for the fallout to include Leslie wasting no time before visiting Anita Dupree beyond the gates. Plus, Andre looks for answers from Ashley. And what in the world just happened to Chelsea? For a while now, Martin&Smitty have been experiencing one crisis after another. There was Martin's nightmare revelation. Then they discovered June was Tyrell and Samantha's biological mother. And now this. "Martin, I think we have a situation," Smitty says to his husband. Teasers suggest that the estranged couple has to deal with an intruder, so that's probably what Smitty is referring to here. In 2 seconds, Andre walked away from Danny, and Ashley rejected him. This week, he's completely confused about how it all happened, and he won't rest until he gets answers to why Ashley suddenly got cold feet. He gave her France, after all. Ashley's response to Andre telling her that he didn't lie was a doozy. She admitted, "I saw you and Danny Dupree all over each other." Once Andre gives the nurse his explanation, we'll see if Ashley is willing to try again. When Vanessa says she has some news to tell Vernon, Anita, and Nicole, the tone of her voice tells us this won't be good news. This could mean that she's helping Leslie find a place in Fairmont Crest. The Duprees may never be rid of Leslie. Meanwhile, Eva is really curious and has questions for her mom. Why the rush? And why is Anita Dupree the first you need to see? She asks. Now that Leslie has found out she's in line for a fortune, will she share her treasure with her daughter? What Leslie needs to do is pay Ted back for the money he gave Eva that ended up in Leslie's bank account. Leslie does not waste time. After learning about her biological mother being one of the OG articulates, she must think she can breathe the same rarefied air that Anita Dupree does. Let's just say that when Leslie confronts Anita at the Dupree mansion, Anita doesn't appreciate the visit. "Get that woman out of my house!" Anita yells. And is it us? Or does it look like Anita may have just finished slapping Leslie? Kat and Chelsea finally decide to focus on their business rather than their shaky love lives. From the sounds of it, their purse design company is on the rise. "Who is up next?" Kat cheers. "Chelsea Kat," Chelsea responds. "Chelsea Kat," the cousins cheer in unison. Drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you agree or disagree? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more updates. Your opinions matter, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you!